Why can Meghan never surpass Catherine? This is because there is a world of difference between Catherine and Meghan. Catherine, the beloved princess of the British people, has finally stood out after a long wait and various tests, becoming an unshakable focal point figure in the royal family. Nowadays, she is not only known as Catherine, Princess of Wales, but also deeply respected and admired by the public. However, in stark contrast, Meghan took a completely different path in her relationship with the royal family. Although she was once the wife of Prince Harry, 7 years later, she chose to leave the royal family. This decision not only alienated Harry from the royal family, but also caused their 2 children to lose their titles as princesses and princes. All of this gap is the insurmountable divide between Meghan and Catherine. Meghan showed exceptional effort when she first joined the royal family. She not only invested a lot of effort in shaping her image, showcasing her wisdom and talent, but also actively developed her career, worked hard to manage her family life, and had a sweet and eye-catching interaction with Harry. But the public's recognition of her has never been as high as Catherine's, which can easily create an unbalanced mentality. Although netizens have long noticed that these sisters-in-law have completely different personalities and temperaments, and even form sharp contrasts in many aspects. Although Catherine was born a commoner, she always demonstrated an incredibly noble spirit of sacrifice. Since the moment she stepped into the royal family, she realized that there was a strict set of rules that were not only established for her, but as a princess, she never had any negative emotions and selflessly devoted herself to the royal family. Queen Elizabeth II once explicitly required members of the royal family to never complain, never explain. This sentence accurately explains the difference between Catherine and Meghan. Catherine has always followed the rules and treated the Princess of Wales as a profession, but Meghan has always felt that the royal rules are too many and not free enough. After entering the royal family, Meghan has always tried to highlight herself. She regards individualism as a survival rule and places more emphasis on personal feelings. However, in reality, the British royal family is a big family, a group that prioritizes responsibility and emphasizes teamwork rather than self-expression. In contrast, Catherine has always maintained a low profile and humility, not only being humble in public, but also showing respect and politeness even when facing members of the royal family like Camilla. However, Meghan is completely different. In her view, people are divided into different levels. As the wife of Prince Harry, her identity is highly respected, and other workers must strictly abide by her own requirements. During the wedding preparation process, she assigns tasks and work according to her own ideas, without caring about the feelings of the workers. As is well known, the Queen treats the workers like friends and never treats them as servants. She is always accustomed to saying thank you to them. However, Meghan believed that it was only natural for them to serve her. Catherine learned the Queen's way of handling things. She always asked the staff for a favor with a smile on her face, but she never used a commanding tone to command them. This is the huge gap between Catherine and Meghan. If you were a staff member, who would you prefer, Catherine or Meghan? It is worth mentioning that Catherine is very thrifty. As the economic manager of a family, Catherine cherishes every penny very much. She only wears expensive clothes when attending important events, and usually wears very cheap clothes in private, which makes her more approachable. Meghan is completely different from it. She pursues the highest level of luxury and glamour no matter when and where. Whenever shopping, she always chooses the most expensive styles, and even habitually compares herself when she sees someone richer than herself. When Catherine repeatedly wears the same dress to attend events, Meghan constantly indulges in the choice of luxury brands and haute couture, and she likes to spend huge amounts of money on clothing and jewelry. In fact, as a member of the royal family, every penny she spends comes from the wealth of all taxpayers. According to reports, in 2018, Meghan spent 10 times more on clothing than Catherine. This number has shocked countless people, and no one can understand how Meghan achieved it. After all, it is difficult to spend a huge amount of money in a short period of time. This gap is also the root of the common perception among the British people. As is well known, Meghan wants to become the next Diana, but in terms of appearance and style, she is not at all like Princess Diana. On the contrary, Catherine has already become a beloved object of the public. Meghan cannot surpass Catherine's pace in both public image and interpersonal relationships in family life. In addition, after Meghan left the royal family with Harry, she made money by exposing the royal family's life. However, the royal family values image and privacy the most, and Meghan's behavior has once again widened the gap between her and Catherine. Catherine and Meghan are both spouses of the prince. Initially, they were both dukes. Although they were almost on the same starting line, the gap between them gradually widened after the whistle of the race sounded. Catherine chose to conquer everyone with sweat, while Meghan hoped to achieve success through shortcuts. But in fact, all shortcuts are abysses.